Waiting
Just
for the
have
other
that one.
platform.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
All right.
Hello.
Welcome to Life Lounge, episode 26. We
Real.
are
real topics, real talk. Here we go. Let's do it.
today's real topic is we're going through the method, which is our real life learning curriculum. And we are on topic number 4, or subject number 4, I should say, out of 9. So we've covered growth mindset. So really focusing on helping kids grow their mindset, physical wellness, nutrition, and then kind of the last piece it kind of makes the bridge between focusing inward and taking care of ourselves and then looking more outwards, is topic number 4, which is inclusion and belonging.
Yeah, this is a good one. Again, all these topics were like the things that we wish we would have learned as kids, but then, never did and want to teach our kids now. Inclusion and belonging is one of those topics that starts to deal a little bit more with some of that like growth mindset stuff of how we think about ourselves. Like, just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So the first part of this is really, one of the things I really struggled with in hindsight as a kid is my worthiness and just being, feeling good enough and feeling worthy for who I am without any external achievement. And I just think in today's world with social media and all of the external pressures, it can be so easy for kids to lose themselves and their identity and get into this really spiral of a comparison game and looking at other people and seeing all the highlight reels and filters and artificial things and thinking that they're not good enough and that they don't compare. So that first piece is really having that worthiness and belonging and realizing that you as a human are special and no one else is.
So I saw a really good quote the other day by one of your favorite authors, Brene Brown, who was a master, a genius. And what she said was that in her studies, she found that the opposite of belonging is fitting in. So what that means is that when we try to fit in, right, we try to make ourselves the square peg to go into the square hole, is actually the opposite of belonging, which is being your true authentic self. So this whole lesson for kids is about, like, there's all these social groups, there's all these peer groups, and kids are often trying to fit in to these groups. But until you can belong and be secure in who you are, that's where it all starts. So that's like a big part of this lesson.
Yeah. And one of the master classes and books that we highly recommend that kind of supports this is Land of Children's Books. One of Katie Mullally's books is called Land of I Am. And it's this really great story of this little character that sees all these different mirrors and realizes that some of the reflections, or a lot of the reflections, are distortions, things that people have said about them or that they've created these stories around for themselves in different ways. And so it's really stripping back all those distorted perceptions of yourself and finding that true authentic self. It's a really beautiful book that I highly recommend.
And I'm learning, like, I'm going through a learning process for myself right now of unmasking those things that, I'm a lot farther along in life than our kids are. And I just, if I had some of these tools and some of these learnings way back then, it would have been really helpful.
Yeah. So it starts with that individual worthiness and belonging, just because of your genuine, authentic self. And then it shifts outward and including others that are different than us, whether it's gender, race, physical abilities, different mindset, or not mindset, but different thoughts and perspectives on things, which I think is a really hot topic for us adults that we could all take a lesson on.
Politics?
Yeah.
Cultural backgrounds, different perspectives. Yeah.
Yep. So just being able to accept and love and treat other people just as another human, regardless of how we're different in so many different ways.
And then that leads to like the final piece, which is empathy.
Yeah.
Like, if, kids learning what empathy is, I didn't know what the word empathy meant. I thought it was synonymous with sympathy. I didn't know, what empathy, what kind of a role empathy can play in the way you relate to other people. And if you learn that as a kid, wow, you're way ahead of the game.
Yeah. Just really seeing your friends, different people you see out on the street, and being understanding of their story. And even, I always think of, when I think of empathy, I think of service industries. And when you have someone that's really crabby. And just being able to have empathy for them. Like, you don't know what's going on in their day. You know, they may have had something really terrible happen. And so that's how they're responding to it, is being in a bad mood, and you're on the receiving end, but not letting that, not getting worked up about it yourself, and just being like, okay, this is not my story. I'm going to just continue to, you know, pour love and greatness into them, even though they're in a rough spot right now.
Yeah. And getting to a place of empathy really starts with, again, the understanding of self. And then it can then relate outward in the form of empathy for others. So amazing lessons for kids to be learning this subject, belonging, inclusion and belonging.
Yes. All right. That is it for subject number 4. We will be back next time with subject number 5,
which is
communication and relationships.
Ooh,
again,
yeah.
Shifting outward. Yeah.
See you next time on Real Life Lounge.
Real topics, real talk.
See ya.